Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pilot episode of 50/50 Take It or Leave It. The show where today we talked about ourselves, how we ended up getting to these seats and talking on this podcast. We talked a little bit of Star Wars, a lot about Rise of Skywalker. So if you haven't seen that yet, there's some spoilers. Be careful for those. After that, we talked some YouTube.
Yeah, we got into a little bit of YouTube action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Including recent news from PewDiePie and other top YouTubers.
Getting your start.
Yep. Starting to become like how can you really be successful in an ever-changing platform.
In any field.
In any field, really, yeah.
I think that's about sums it up.
Yeah, if that sounds interesting, take a chance, but you're 50. Let's get into it. I'm Matthew. I'm kind of the guy that got everybody here and together. I have moved around all over the Midwest, and I've always been into gaming, pop culture stuff, which is why we were doing this podcast, and like acting, role-playing, D&D, which is something we should definitely talk about later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're the cool boys.
Yeah, we are.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh my
God, you're cutting that out.
Oh my
Gosh,
God, dude. Why
bro.
would you do that?
No, what else should I say about myself? Like, I mean...
What you're doing here, I suppose. Like what you're
Oh,
doing
Talk
yeah,
about your
yeah.
major, talk about
And how long you've been here. Talk
Well-
about being an RA.
Well,
Like that you are an RA. It's like
yeah, I am an RA. That's true.
how we now talk about.
So I had brought this idea up shortly after the boys' trip, correct?
Yep.
On the ride home, actually.
Are you sure
right?
it wasn't the ride there?
No, it wasn't the ride there because it was when we were coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had been
First-
working on my poli-sci essay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I brought it up to you guys because we were talking about the anthology.
Yep.
And then that made me think about podcasting.
I
Yep.
think you first brought it up to me. You were just like, hey, Dan, quick question. I was like, yeah. And you're like, what would you say to doing a podcast? Like, I mean, if you
Yeah, I
can
just
get it
wanted
together.
I wanted to bounce the ideas off of people first, kind of just get like
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
general vibe.
Okay.
Got a vibe check.
Yeah, vibe check. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think everybody passed.
What?
I think
Yeah.
everybody passed the vibe check.
Yeah.
Thought it was a good idea.
I'd say vibes were checked.
So yeah, I brought it up to everybody, and everybody was pretty okay with it, pretty chill with it. And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Mitch, what do we got to do?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So, Mitch, you are a large part of how we got to use this space and this equipment. You want to tell us about your?
My name's Mitch, Digital Media Club co-president. Also work as the building office manager here on campus. I'm in my last semester here at SMSU, which is quite sad considering we're just getting this started. A little sad. Got a little tearjerker there, but we'll get through it.
Remember Patreon? We are going to start that. So
Oh, God.
make sure that you come and
Those
support us
polls.
so that way Mitch can keep doing this, keep making money.
Let's get those Polaroids moving.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's not the
No,
plan.
no.
All right.
But yeah, so continuing on, Matt brought the idea up to me, and I was like, well, yeah, that's definitely a thing we can do. Being the Media Club, huge supporter of student-run podcasts and productions, always looking for more content for the channel. We swung the idea, we got the name going, we got our content idea up and running, and it was about mid-December when we finally got everything finalized, and we're like, probably shouldn't do a podcast during the middle of finals week. May not be too well for us.
It may not go
Yeah,
the best.
yeah.
Yeah. And, it was finals week. We've got everything finalized, and then break happened, and here we are. We got a great show planned for tonight, so...
Oh, yeah, but you're not the only digital media major around here.
Oh,
are
I
you?
am not.
No.
And then there was me.
Fortunately. Yeah,
And
there's a big
then-
man across the
yeah.
table.
Introduce yourself, man.
I'm Kyle, broadcasting and digital media, as my friends referenced. I second year here, and I've been doing quite a bit. I've kind of bounced around. I did some journalism. I've done a little bit of radio here and there. I've done some TV productions, and I've been liking it so far. It's been pretty good. Mostly just been staying in the studio. And when Matt came to me, I was extremely excited. It's not my first podcast I've done, but it's been a while since I've done one. It was pretty, I really liked the idea of it. It felt more like this was something I kind of like doing because I did come here originally to do radio. And since, that kind of didn't work out because radio's, but.
Sometimes, people just don't really.
Yeah.
Radio's dying.
I know.
It's the truth, guys. It's okay. We can
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
a podcast. Come on, guys. We're not radio. We're podcasting.
We're
you-
the ones
yeah,
killing
that's right.
them.
So,
Honestly, though.
Truly.
but I was really excited for the idea, and I'm kind of glad it got fully finalized and fully given the go ahead. And now I'm sitting here with my friends and enjoying this experience that we're having together. So I'm really glad, that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And Dan,
Yeah.
Dan's been with me since the beginning. He was
Oh, yeah.
my. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. All right, so I'm Daniel. Hi.
Oh, hey.
Hey there.
Oh.
Didn't notice ya.
Didn't see you there.
Who are you?
I'm Daniel.
There you go.
And I met Matthew technically my third day here because I am a fancy pants and moved in 2 days early. But
For what?
Very nice.
that was for a pep band because I'm a cool kid.
Of course.
And what happens to be your major now?
Well, hey, now it's music education because I hate money. And I don't want to have it. I don't want anything to do with it.
But you can support us on Patreon.
Get
Don't-
that
Oh my
Patreon.
God, Matt, with
So-
the Patreon.
Listen, somebody's got to plug it, man.
Yeah, we gotta plug the Patreon.
Oh my God.
As I was saying, so Matthew and I were roommates our first year. So that's how we met. And we were both, I'd say, pretty nervous.
No, but you're right. We were both kind of nervous,
Yep. We were nervous about just who our roommates would end up being, who the other person would be as a person. Well, we found out pretty quickly, I'd say, that we were basically the same person.
It's accurate.
We are both pretty cool, skinny white dudes who are into cool things like gaming and stuff.
Oh yeah, and well, he actually got me into D&D. I don't know if I actually told you guys.
Yeah,
that,
that's right.
but-
And podcasting, I think. 'Cause
Yeah,
have you?
yeah. Well, you got me started on podcasting
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
you had never listened to like podcasts before, right?
No, not really. No,
right.
but
So I introduced him to the two things through a wonderful podcast called The Adventure Zone. It's just 3 dudes and their dad playing D&D, which is a terrible description of one of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
and we are talking about balance, just so that everybody out there who has heard of the Adventure Zone knows what we're talking about.
So that's basically how we became friends. Is we shared with each other some of the things that we thought were cool or funny, and we were like, wow, we both enjoy the exact same things. And neither of us are weird, well, like creepy weird. Neither of us are like scary. That's basically the 2 check marks you need.
Yeah, that'll basically do it. That will basically do it.
Yeah. And we found out kind of early that we were lucky too with the roommates we got because looking around, like there were definitely people who didn't like fit our lifestyles and our interests and goals.
I would say of everyone I've met on campus here in my 2 years so far, because I am the 3rd sophomore here, I have not met a person who I would say would have been a better roommate than Matt.
Well, thank you. I absolutely
Grr,
agree.
grr, grr.
That's pretty
Oh,
cute.
oh,
Oh.
oh,
That was a little gay.
Do you two have you guys have a
Little.
date set yet?
Yes.
bro,
Oh, nice.
you're my plus one, man. Like it's you, me, and Daniel.
Oh.
Oh, I mean, I guess.
Oh, dang, Kyle.
To all the
There's
viewers
so
out there,
much
you
editing
couldn't
here.
see Kyle's face, but I really wish you could have.
I mean, I get, that's how it be sometimes.
You
I
know,
suppose I got a busy schedule.
It was
so
the lean in to the mic probably that really sold it. It was just oh.
I'll do it. That would be it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Matthew and I both met Kyle and Mitch this year, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Correct.
Through my RA chops.
Yeah. I remember it was I came in after I moved in all my stuff, and I see a person I've never seen before in his room. I was like, oh, hello, sir. And then the first thing I believe you did was I'm going to buy Domino's pizza, and I was like, oh,
That sounds right.
all right, well, all right, this is happening.
Yeah.
And from then on, a friendship bloomed, and now he is a cherished friend of mine, and and it was on that day that it really was it was fate that brought us together in the form of a delicious Domino's pizza.
Yeah, no, Domino's Pizza brought me and Daniel together too during our first viewings of the Adventure Zone.
Yep.
It's
You were
fate.
actually kind of christened.
That was
into
kind
Lincoln
of
Center.
Christened.
the
Yeah.
second sort of damn, can't talk.
Dude, no, I remember every single time we'd start the Adventure Zone, the intro would roll.
Mhm.
Daniel would like look up and he'd be like, "Domino's."
Domino's.
Yeah, Domino's.
All right. Nothing caps off a better night than some good Domino's.
Heck yeah.
If I
Not
do say-
sponsored,
Not spon-
but,
Yeah,
but if they
you
want to,
Yet.
You two and your Patreon. Come on.
Ah,
Domino's.
we gotta plug,
Yeah,
we gotta plug.
Gotta plug.
Mitch, would you say that like the boys trip is like really what solidified kind of all of our friendships coming together?
I would think so. I would agree. Definitely for me and Daniel's friendship, I would agree.
Mhm.
I kind of knew Matt just because we were on staff together. I kind of knew who you were.
That's
Joke
true.
around. Kyle and I, definitely friends before.
Yeah, we're practically the same person.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, I'd agree. I would say though, like for Kyle and me, I did not know who Kyle was
Mhm.
like at all before
Right.
that.
Yeah, I know we were like RHA. That was like
Mhm.
one of the things, but we didn't talk like outside of that for like a while, and it was until like maybe Black Hills, because we were like we should invite Matt, and I knew who Matt was at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, I think he'd be pretty cool. I mean, I feel like he would probably like going to this, and I'm honestly glad that he did, because I feel like it would have been like it's 10 times better now that he came along with all of us.
except he didn't get in the hot tub.
But he didn't get in the hot tub.
It's
You know
true.
what? That probably would have been the ultimate experience.
It's
Yeah,
true. It's
and
true.
for
I had
those
messed it right.
for those of you who don't know, which is everyone not at the table,
That's true.
the boys trip, or as Kyle said, the Black Hills trip, was just a trip that our friend group took to the Black Hills in October.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was over fall
Yeah.
break,
And
right?
that's-
It was over the fall break.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Beginning of October.
And that's where we really solidified who this friend group. That's not how you talk, Daniel. We really solidified our friendships within this group.
Mhm.
And again, as like I got to know Mitch, because everyone was like, "Oh man, you gotta meet Mitch. He's a great guy." And I'm like, "Cool. Who's Mitch?" They're
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
he's a great guy. You should meet him.
Yeah, definitely before the trip, we had hung out a couple times. Just
No, we didn't. Oh, okay, yeah.
a couple
before the
times,
trip.
one or two times. I either
You guys might have been in the same room together.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
like one or very.
it was minimal.
very minimal,
Mhm.
and I can understand. You don't know who I am. I don't know who you
Mhm.
are. I was like, "Who's this Daniel guy? I
Yeah.
don't know who that is." And then Black Hills trip happened, and I was like, "Yeah, this Daniel guy, cool guy."
And yeah, I mean that's true. We're all
Yeah,
friends here,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
kind of why I reach out to all of you guys, because I feel
Right.
like our group dynamic is one that would
Yeah.
work pretty well for
Mhm.
this, and
Yep.
that's kind of how the 50-50 take it or leave it got started.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's
A solid tenor.
that's where I felt same. with Mitch.
Speaking
Yeah.
Of 10 out of 10, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker.
Not
How
that.
do we feel about
It's
that?
not that.
Ooh.
Let me tell you about that.
Hey.
Now let's go around. Who here has seen it? All of you, right?
Yes.
yeah.
I've
Yes.
seen it, yes.
Yeah.
I have not.
Daniel
Oh.
has not. All right.
Do you
well,
mind if we
spoilers
go
inbound.
into? Yeah. If you
Also,
mind,
to all the viewers out there, we will be talking Rise of Skywalker. If you haven't by some chance seen it yet,
Mhm.
go out and see it. Press pause.
If you
Yep.
care about spoilers.
Come back.
Yep.
And start watching again.
We can't give you a time code because we're doing this right now.
Okay,
We
that's
can
true.
post a time code in the description below.
Rob will get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitch. I see you looking. What were your thoughts on Rise of Skywalker?
For me, a lot of when people complain about, oh, this is just a exact copy of whatever movie, I don't have a big problem with that. I enjoyed all the fighting scenes. I enjoyed the movie, except for the very end when this is where the spoilers are coming up. When Rey, first off, buries the lightsaber,
Oh my gosh, bro.
turns it on for a minute and a half, not even. turns it on. We see that it's yellow. Ooh, cool. Turns it off. There was no point. There was no character-wise, there was no reason for that at all. But yet she does it, buries it, and I can just feel Anakin being like, ugh.
Sand.
Yeah.
If I may, I can understand why it would be like, I don't know why you're doing this. Like, that's kind of like weird. But at the same time, I think they wanted to show the lightsaber color because, as you know, there's like a thing where it's like the color of your lightsaber represents something.
Right, and I
Right,
get that. I
and-
feel like the story developers, I get it's crucial for the story.
Yeah.
I feel like the story developers and writers could have done a better job with the character development team and trying to work that in better than bzz, Barry.
So you're
like,
saying-
come
Okay,
on.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you so
You
you're
want the
saying
build up.
Yeah.
I want a better inclusion with it, not the bzz. Like, what's the bzz?
Show me.
So what
Come
I hear
on.
you saying, if I understand you right, is that you would rather have it that by the time it got to that scene, we already knew that Rey was different, that she was unique, that she deserved a lightsaber of her own color, and,
Yeah.
totally different. Instead of
Or is it more for like not deserving of like the lightsaber, but of like the meaning behind it? Is
exactly,
that what you're looking for?
exactly, that's better.
Mm.
By the time that scene comes around, a well-written character, we already know that they're unique. We don't need the lightsaber to tell us that. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the story writers could have, maybe even after the scene where Rey is surrounded by all the Jedis and like she like is getting her lightsaber ready to fight Palpatine, and like she activates it and then it's yellow. That would, I feel like, be a much better, one, much more climactic, two, better character development, and three, way more inclusive
Mm-hmm.
on the story. And it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
you're disrupting your storyline
that makes sense.
per the movie, because you want to show that Rey is the chosen Jedi.
That makes
Right.
a lot of sense.
Yeah. So that problem number one, and I can't take credit for having that issue. I didn't notice it when watching it for the first time through. It was actually brought up to me by a friend of mine, and then I was like, "Holy crap, you're right. That's really annoying."
Yeah, yeah.
Second problem.
All right.
I'm a Skywalker. No.
Oh my gosh, bro.
So at the end of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
Rey, she is a Palpatine. Her grandfather is,
Darth Sidious.
yeah,
That.
that.
I'm sorry.
And big like thing, because Rey is of the Force, of the good Force, not the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
So Palpatine is, what's his first name?
I don't think
Is
they
it
gave
just
him
General
I think
Palpatine?
It
it's
was
Robert.
I'm not
No,
sure it's
no, I don't
Robert.
think so.
Could not-
Robert
could-
Palpatine.
Hi, I'm Robert Palpatine.
Please.
Yeah, I
Bob,
actually don't know
please,
the answer to
please.
that.
Bob was my father.
Yeah, they usually just call him Emperor Palpatine.
Emperor. Okay, Emperor. Okay, so Emperor.
No, his first name is Senate,
Oh,
I believe.
Chancellor?
He is Chancellor.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yes.
I am the Senate.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
So
Yeah.
this guy, huge Sith fan, numero uno, big supporter of the Sith.
Big supporter of the dark side.
All of
Yeah.
the Sith are in him.
He buys
Yeah.
all the
Yes.
merch.
He
Yeah.
does.
Big guy.
He
Big.
does buy all the merch.
He-
Speaking of
He
merch,
supports.
we are actually
Patreon.
going to be coming out with
Loot crate.
t-shirt. Loot crate. Get your smoked sausages here.
Darth Sidious actually supports the Dark Side Patreon, which you can also do on our
Oh my
Patreon if you want to.
Absolutely.
The
So-
Empire cannot do it without your
So-
help.
Mm-hmm.
Numero
Wait, is
uno.
numero uno Sidious or Palpatine?
Both are the same
They're both.
person.
They are the
The
same.
same person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Oh.
name is Palpatine. His Darth name is Darth.
Oh, so it's like a
Sidious.
pope, where like when you become
Yeah.
pope, you also
Sort
have your
of, yeah.
pope name.
Well, like Batman and Bruce. Bruce.
Well, it's like Anakin
no,
and Darth
It's
Vader.
Anakin and Darth. Like you don't call him
Oh,
Anakin Skywalker.
yeah.
You call him.
It's
Darth
like Ben
Vader.
Solo
yeah.
and Kylo Ren. So having the last name of Palpatine isn't always the best for being a Jedi Master, especially the chosen one. Maybe not the best, because Palpatine's known as a Sith name,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But Rey's character development has always been like she's been a lost person. She was lost as a child. She was lost trying to find herself, and then the Jedi kind of like helped her find herself. So
And
for
her,
and her what? No,
and her foster family, the Skywalkers.
yeah. Well, Luke Skywalker. Yeah, I would agree that like Luke definitely took on a father figure for Rey in helping her through understanding the Force and using the Force and understanding what it is and how to utilize it and to capitalize on defeating the Sith and bring balance to the universe. I get that. However, if Rey's character development has always been about finding who she is,
Mm-hmm.
and her last name is Palpatine, and she just, at the end of the movie, no, I'm not a Palpatine. I'm a Skywalker.
Well,
That erupts and explodes the last 3 movies of character development for Rey, and it makes me very frustrated.
no,
I
don't
do
see
see
how.
exactly what you're saying.
I don't.
I
don't at
gonna
all.
have to disagree with you on that as well.
Okay, Kyle, go ahead. Go first.
Mostly because there's symbolism to it. Why? Now I know it doesn't sound like it seems cheesy, but I know where they're going with it. I mean, you basically went through the whole movie meeting, like the whole trilogy, going through like the Skywalker legacy, talking about like who they were, and then what they left behind, and then by the end of the 3rd movie, they're all dead. So what do? You carry on that legacy by having the name Skywalker to have that kind of, because when you hear the name Skywalker, you think, oh, the good guys. This is the people who instill hope in the galaxy. And then you have people like Palpatine who's like, oh, isn't he the guy that killed
all of those younglings.
all those
I really
young-
think they think Skywalker. That's their savior. Yeah.
So,
That's a really good point.
I was about to say that. I'm like, okay. Well, I might have interpreted your description of that. So, Anakin Skywalker turned into Darth Vader.
Yeah,
But you don't see
before
Luke
he
and-
did that.
I don't
he,
see Luke and
murdered a whole bunch
Leia
of kids.
being like, I'm not going to have the Skywalker last name. I'm going to choose someone else.
if I may,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think it kind of makes sense. I haven't seen the movie.
Mm.
I don't know Star Wars at all. So that's my disclaimer. So I'm taking this from only the information that I overhear, basically.
And once you're done, I do have some thoughts. Once you're done.
Yeah, go
Mhm.
for it. Yeah.
So you say that Rey is a Palpatine by birth,
Yes.
and at the end of the movie / at the end of the trilogy, she says, "No, I am a Skywalker."
Yep.
Okay. That defines her character arc as being one about choosing who you are, and that means that her arc is about saying that your birth does not dictate who you are. Your name does not dictate who you have to be. Your family doesn't. All these things, it's up to you. And by adopting the Skywalker title, essentially, you are not saying, I am a good guy, but I can choose who I am. Because Palpatine is just evil. But because Skywalker is mixed, but they all choose, they each come to a point. Anakin comes to his point and he chooses evil. Luke comes to his point. Is he going to kill the Emperor? No. He chooses good. We don't really see Leia much as far as like making a choice to be good, but we know she's on the good side from the beginning of episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
So by saying I am a Skywalker, it says I can choose who I am.
I guess
That's how it seems to me.
that makes sense. I guess I don't know why those same rules can't apply to the Palpatine last name.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Like,
I
think
it does.
a better character arc for Rey, because
Yeah.
she's going through all these movies trying to figure out who she is. She comes to the Skywalkers and she's like I don't know who I am. I don't know my place in the universe. What is my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
And Han Solo, Princess Leia, and eventually Luke Skywalker all shape and mold her into the person that she's going to become. So she goes on this journey. She finds out in the second movie that, it doesn't matter where I come from because they were nothing. They hated you, blah, 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 blah. Thanks, Kylo. All right? We get to the third movie. Now, this is when there's supposed to be conflict, when she, pedal to the metal. Who are you when everybody else is stripped away?
She has to choose.
Right. And this whole journey is about finding out who she is. Finds out about her name. She can reject the evil in it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think she has to embrace who she is and still choose good. And that makes a strong character.
She does, doesn't she?
Not copping out and taking somebody else's name.
I don't think she's literally saying it. She's saying that I am playing the part of Skywalker by saying I am Palpatine, but I am good. She doesn't say I am not Palpatine. She says I am Skywalker.
So in the movie,
Or am I wrong?
what?
Or am I wrong?
Well,
You're
in-
kind of right, kind of wrong. So
Okay.
in the movie, she goes back to Luke's home,
Mhm.
and she buries
Tatooine.
Tatooine.
Oh, I
yep.
thought it was New York.
Just to make sure, gotta clear it up.
She goes back to Tatooine, buries the lightsaber, and this
Weird old lady.
local resident walks by
Yeah,
with her.
really.
I think it was with a camel or something like that.
Somewhere.
Something
Unrelated.
similar to a camel.
Some blue
And
milk
she's like-
generating animal.
She's like,
Oh, yes, the blue goat.
Yeah, of course.
and she asks Ray, she's like, "Who are you?" And then the camera cuts.
No. She says, "Who are you?" She goes, "Ray." Ray who? And
Oh,
I'm sitting in the theater
Wow.
and I'm thinking, I swear to God,
I was too.
if she says Skywalker,
That's. I mean,
I'm
it's pretty
gonna
obvious.
lose it.
does she say Skywalker?
And she
Yes.
goes, Skywalker.
Oh.
After looking at the ghosts of
Ray,
Luke and Leia.
Yeah. Luke.
Well,
For some
also,
reason, they're there.
And also, spoiler.
This whole thing
why
is
is
spoiler.
why is Ben not there?
Oh,
when
bro.
he
That's all in mind.
disappeared?
And has
Mhm.
everybody gotten their like bits out? Because
Yeah.
Matt, if
Yeah,
you got a
yeah.
no,
vent,
dude, I got
if
it.
you
Let's
got
hear
a
it,
vent,
Matt.
go for it.
All right. I just leaned in my chair, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm young. Disney comes to the table and they're like, everyone, we got a new Star Wars movie. Heck yeah. Me and my friends, we go to the cinema. We watch it. I'm amped. We got all the goodies coming back, right? We got Han Solo, Princess Leia, R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewie, the Millennium Falcon, space battles, a giant, bigger Death Star. Yeah. Just absolutely dominating things. They took out like 6 planets. Which also, I think, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson. He actually did this little thing where he looked up like how much energy a star has. Like a lot. Yeah, he found out you could like destroy half a galaxy with like a star if you wanted. With like a weapon.
They
Anyway.
should nerf it.
They get out. I got all these questions, very J.J. Abrams-esque.
Mhm.
Who is Rey? Like, where's her story going? Why
Mhm.
is Kylo Ren such a baddie? Did he hold a laser in place? That's dope.
Mhm.
What was his name? Poe and Finn. Where are they going?
Yep.
What's their storyline? We get to the next movie. Opens with like a bombing on an Imperial cruiser or something like that.
Yep.
Cool. We come out of that, and they're being tracked all over the universe, the Resistance. All right? And then they're at this, like, stupid, slow pace for basically half the movie, not moving all that much, getting absolutely pounded by the Empires like cannons.
Yep.
We spend half the movie going to a casino with Finn and Rose, where nothing happens. And then Rey and Kylo, which Kylo just decides to kill his master, because with the power of friendship. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Kills his master. They have this battle. I would say epic battle, except it's a piece of garbage fight. If you watch it, those red weirdos with kind of lightsaber, kind of regular blade things,
You
like
mean what are those people called?
Imperial Guards or whatever.
No, no, they have
They're
a
not-
specific
they're not
name
called,
for
like-
Kylo.
No,
Oh,
that's
not
the
the night.
next
That's not
movie.
the Knights of
No,
Ren.
we're not
It's
there
the
yet. We're
Knights
still
of
in
Ren.
Last Jedi.
Oh, my
Oh, you're
bad.
talking about
Yeah, we're
Inquisitors.
still there. I haven't even gotten to the Rise of Skywalker yet. So if you watch, they like just miss in midair, like they just completely whiff it. The back of Kylo and Rey are to them, and they just whiff it. Nowhere near. Worst fight scene ever. And I was actually chill with the whole ghost projection, the astral projection
right.
thing. That was cool. That
Yeah.
was dope. Take it to new places like that. That's cool. Rise of Skywalker. Fast-paced, nonsense crap.
Very turn your brain off kind of movie.
Well, never have I had to go to a Star Wars film and be like, okay, let's see how this goes. I will give credit where credit is due. I saw during the final battle when Palpatine's like, unlimited power, and just electrocutes the sky. He brings down his own ships and like the arriving ships. The entire planet is covered with his lightning from his hands.
How can he do that?
Because he's got all the Sith with him. I don't know. Anyway, visually spectacular.
Okay.
Like super awesome.
Mhm.
Just like literally the dopest thing I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. All the ships, which fall for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
A long time.
15 minutes they're like falling while he's just electrocuting this guy. Then Rey gets back up. And I'm like, okay, whatever. He stops electrocuting every single ship in the sky, and he's got a giant fleet, right, of his own ships. And then Lando Calrissian somehow rallies half the universe to come and fight them. Yeah, okay. He's taking all of them out. He's taking every single ship out of commission. Rey gets up, walks towards him. He uses the same lightning on her, and she blocks it with one lightsaber. And then 2 lightsabers. And then they're like, but she's got all of the Jedi with her. I'm like, no, did you just see what happened? He took the entire fleet out of commission. He electrocuted the whole planet. And she's got one lightsaber and is stopping everything. And then she kills him. What the? No, Rey is toast.
If I may, can I just say that when he shot the lightning into the sky,
Yeah.
shouldn't he have destroyed his own fleet?
No, yeah, he should have destroyed everyone.
Yeah, but his fleets are still intact?
Yeah.
How?
He's
I
got
don't
a
know.
ton of.
Wouldn't
Well,
All
okay.
of the allies are still intact.
Yeah, but they should have at least been decommissioned and falling too, right? Because they should have been hit with that.
They
same
were.
lightning. They
He
were?
was sending them
Yeah.
all down.
It
yeah.
did, oh, for some reason it looked like
No,
they were
yeah.
just focusing mostly on the other ships. Like, oh no, the ships
Well-
are coming
Well, that
down.
was one thing because he had like said it, but then I think Rey was like, "You're like doing that to your own fleet." And he's like, "We can rebuild."
Oh well, okay.
Man.
It was weird. Not gonna lie, that she was like, I can block this with one lightsaber.
Oh my gosh, bro! Mace Windu had to like train and train and train to learn how to do that, and Rey's just like, "I'm doing it."
If I'm
Before that,
Mhm.
I skipped to my favorite part. Right?
oh boy, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh buddy.
Hear it.
That was my favorite part. But before that,
Mhm.
what started the first movie? Kyle.
Like the first?
No.
The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Started
What
off-
is the Resistance's goal?
I believe it was, if I remember, because it's been a while since I've watched the Force Awakens, but I think it was just to stop the First Order, like stop Starkiller Base was like the big one.
That was part of it.
Yeah, part of it.
What in the very first scene?
Oh, yeah, they were like,
What were they
They're
looking for?
they were like sending a message to,
Weren't they looking for the
maybe
map?
it was
to
Luke, right?
They were looking for the map to Luke
Boom.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
Nicely
Points
done,
to Daniel.
I
Thank
haven't
you.
seen-
All
it's
right.
been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah. First movie. That's what they're looking for. Why are they doing that? Because they need to train the new Jedi.
Yep.
That happens. They find him. He doesn't really want to be a teacher. Ends up being a teacher, which is fine.
That's
right?
gonna be
cool,
me.
Cool.
Don't want to be a teacher. I'm gonna be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So he teaches Rey the ways of the Force. He dies. What did they do in the third movie?
Well, they.
Leia
Yeah, okay. Yep.
decides that she is gonna train Rey.
I didn't even know.
So
she, like,
I'm sitting here
Cool.
like, why did the first 2 movies happen if she could have just trained Rey the entire time?
well, I mean, it's better to have training from both. Since Lynn
No,
is
no,
like
no.
Leia, really good with the Force.
She just is.
she.
Bro, don't question it.
She kind of was introduced
She
in
just
the
is.
It's
last
bad they never
Jedi.
used that ever.
Yeah, the Last Jedi
yeah.
was like the first time you ever see her use.
Oh
doesn't make
my
any
gosh!
sense.
Thank you for reminding me
Yeah,
about that.
there was,
she Mary Poppins her way out of death.
Yeah,
Guess she had enough midichlorians.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
But-
okay.
But yeah, it was kind of weird because I was like, you would assume like right because she's the sister of Luke, who's like a very powerful Force user. So you had the speculation that she had the Force.
Right.
It was
But
just the
where's
way
her
they
training?
Yeah, it was just utilized in weird ways. Last Jedi, she was blown out into space, and then she somehow Force pulled herself back into the
Yup.
ship. I don't know how you can do that, but you know.
And why, when she opened the door, did like the vacuum of space not like suck everybody who helped her back in out?
Now, I'm not a physicist here, but there's
And I
a
know-
lot of things here that just
Yeah.
don't make sense.
It does
Everybody's
not.
like, Matt, it's a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but come on.
There's-
Just calm down.
That's dumb.
So I'm not even like, we're not even gonna talk about the Mary Poppins thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's been talked about to death, right?
Yeah.
Just dumb. But the entire first 2 movies are basically a waste if Leia could have just trained her the whole time. Because they did like some retconning to try to be like, oh yeah, she did get trained by Luke. And I'm sitting here like, no.
Yeah, they
No.
basically said it was like, yeah, she trained with Luke and then stopped because she had a vision of if she did become a Jedi, I believe it was like what her son would die.
Did it show any of
Or
this
something
in the
like
Oh
movies?
that?
wow, yeah, that didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Did it show any of this in the movies, like the
Yeah,
training?
There's
Or
it
one.
There was one scene of her.
It's more like a clip.
It was a clip of her training with Luke, but
Terrible
it was
CGI.
like
yep.
a Rocky montage? Cool.
Yep, it was like CGI.
No, like,
They digitally placed her face on her daughter to play the young Leia, and then I don't know who they put Mark's face on for Luke, but
yeah.
they basically was like, yeah, she had a vision, and if she became a Jedi, her son would die, which
He ends up doing anyway.
Which he ends up doing
So
anyway.
first two movies, waste if they could. And Rey just gets magical Force Healy powers.
Yeah.
And you could be like, well, it's through her teaching, through finding out about herself. Like, no, boom. What was Anakin's singular goal in Revenge of the Sith?
It's been a while since I saw those movies,
All right.
so
He
I would
wants to
say-
save the. Oh,
you say save the people.
I mean, that's
he wants to save the woman he loves
he
from
wants to
death.
save Padme.
Oh yeah, I've heard
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of people whine
because
about
because
Now.
yeah, that was the only reason you
And
turned.
this is where we get one of the best lines about Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Mhm.
If the Jedi had always known how to do this, what the...
Well,
Yeah.
why can't I
What?
mean, it's not like they knew all of the Force abilities right away, right? Like, can't
How
new
does
ones
some
develop?
rinky-dink girl who happens to find a lightsaber
Mhm.
unlock one of the most influential and powerful uses of the Force?
Sacred text.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Luke found the sacred text and then gave
yeah.
it to
The books
Oh,
To
those
Rey.
books that were probably
that were burned
holocrons that
and-
would have been
and burned.
and burned, and then they show up again.
Yeah, they showed
Yeah.
up.
but
Yeah.
they showed up again. So
I guess they-
awesome,
that's
awesome.
the answer to
sacred
your
text.
question there,
Oh,
Matt.
great,
But-
great.
Oh, if I may say
Plot
one
device.
thing about the Rise of Skywalker that I did not like the most was the fact that all of these really important things that we should have seen did not show up in the movie.
Now, is it true that
And I do still have more, by the
when
Yeah.
what was that quote you were talking about? The unnatural power.
way.
Who said that?
Leads to forces that some might
Is that
consider
Palpatine?
unnatural.
Yeah, that's Palpatine.
Is it true that when he said that they cued in Billie Eilish's "Bad Guy"?
They did not.
No,
But they did.
They should have.
I
They
hate
should
you.
have, but they did not. There was just
That was good. I like that.
there was just a lot of
We need some more memeing.
Yes.
things in this movie that should have been
Okay.
shown but did not.
Can we talk about Kylo Ren's whole story arc?
Wait, you don't like that?
Is he the
no,
guy that
he
looks
has
like
the
a box?
best. The only
Yes.
thing I wish
Yeah, you're
is
right.
his good guy bit started in The Last Jedi. Because what happens is he gets like, bad, kind of like weird, in the first movie.
Yeah, he's
Full
bad, turned
bad in
evil.
the second.
Yeah,
He goes like
Hey.
super dark side.
Hmm.
Start of this one, he's murdering like an entire planet just to find one artifact.
That's not really cool.
he's actually on the planet of Mustafar too.
That's-
That I didn't notice.
What?
Yeah, the planet that he was on in the beginning was Mustafar.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It looks so different.
I know. I was like, oh, I didn't.
Wow.
See that.
Mustafar had-
Mustafar is where Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker had
It was
their
the
final
it was the
showdown.
final fight.
Oh,
I can't wait to see that.
It's pretty good. I have
The
high
best
ground.
lightsaber fight.
Oh, cool.
This movie actually had a fantastic lightsaber fight between Rey and Kylo Ren as well.
Which one?
On the Death Star or
Yeah, on the watery bits of the Death Star.
Why do they
yeah.
always have a Death Star?
It's
Well, this one is
broken.
broken.
It's,
it's
like
the
pieces of
remnants. It's the
real Death
remnants
Star.
of the second or first. Death?
Second.
The
It's on
second
Endor.
one. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, it's on.
Like,
It's on there, and it's like
It makes sense for the Empire to keep building these because it's
In
like
this one, what they do is they put planet killing weapons on every one of those ships. Did
The
you
Star
watch
Cruisers?
A New Hope?
Yeah.
Yeah, on one of the Star Cruisers.
that's broke as hell.
Yeah. And then
they need to be.
oh my
debuffed.
gosh, for some reason, they use it right to make an example of this one planet
Yep.
that people were on. and they just destroy it, like the entire planet.
Cool.
They flew one ship out, apparently.
Yep.
Like the whole like thing that the resistance is like banking on is that the fleet is still above the planet. If you're gonna make an example and fly out one of them, why wouldn't you fly out the rest of the fleet? Like ferry them one at a time. Like you.
Honestly, Chewbacca also has one of the most complete story arcs in this whole
Oh.
series. He got his medal.
This is
He
me
did get his medal.
signaling.
But bro, if there was one more character death fake out in that movie, I would have offed myself for real.
The marketing.
First,
Probably got
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Then who else is it? There's a
That I
couple
would've
other ones that
offed
come
myself.
up.
There was Kylo's.
Well,
There was
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. I forgot.
yep.
Kylo has two.
Kylo has one where I'm not dead, and then the other one's I'm dead.
No. He's got the one after their fight. She stabs him.
Yep.
Heals him.
Yep.
He's got falling down the pit.
Yep. Okay.
Comes back up.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that whole.
Yeah.
Yep.
My beard is
And then-
really soft today.
Thank
So
you.
he's
It's
got the
really
best arc,
weird.
right?
Mm.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's full evil, and then he just like after almost dying switches to the good side.
Why
Okay,
does, like,
whatever.
No one in Star Wars have a beard.
So he gets
Obi-Wan died.
back to the planet,
It's one person.
right?
Qui-Gon.
Okay, you got me.
And he's killing the Knights of Ren, which are like his own like weird cold soldiers, which have done nothing in the entire movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So he kills them, gets the Emperor. Emperor uses sucky powers on him, takes the life force energy, tosses him down a pit. He comes back out, and I'm like, oh, dude, this is it. The whole movie's been about him, because Rey dies killing the Emperor with her lightsabers.
Wait,
okay,
what?
weird, whatever.
How?
It's not really talked
I guess
about.
she expended all of her force energy into
Yeah.
pushing the lightning,
That makes even less
and
sense.
then the explosion, from all the force powers, kind of pushed her off, and then she kind of
She just died. So he rises up, and I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, he's going to see, like, Rey died,
Yep.
fighting for the light. Like, this is the rise of Skywalker. Like, this is when, like, he realizes he's retaken the name Ben Solo. He's got Luke's
Cool.
original lightsaber.
That's cool.
This is, he's going to embrace the teachings of the Jedi and bring that about.
This is where in the subtitles you have like music swells, and you're
Right.
like, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
And then he looks at Rey. It doesn't stop looking at Rey, and I'm like, you
Uh-oh.
are not about to do what I think you're about to do. He walks over to her, cradles her dead body like in his lap, puts his hand on her like abdomen,
Yep.
Okay.
brings her back to life.
Oh, wow. Now-
shares-
wow.
The weirdest, most uncomfortable kiss I've ever seen
I don't think
in
that's consensual.
all of cinema with her. No, she like goes for it.
Yeah,
That's
they
what's
both they
Well,
both kiss each other.
Definitely the dead person abdomen touching.
Yeah.
That's not kosher.
So they kiss, and then he just dies.
Because he
Oh, did
then
he
he
put his
dies.
life into her?
he basically it was a give and take.
Something.
It was like all of
Honestly, I can kind of see
your he
that.
was like all of your force energy is gone, so I'm going to give you all of mine and hope to God you come back to
I mean,
life.
the
And
idea,
he literally said, "Guess I'll die."
the idea of like force energy and stuff doesn't make much sense to me. Of course, everyone hates midichlorians, but the idea of like, okay, premise 1, premise 2, all these premises. Okay, if he can do all this stuff, then sure, I can kind of get behind that sacrifice. Like, I will transfer my life energy to you. That is like the goodest guy thing you can do. I can kind of see it.
It was like the first time Kylo got like his fake out death and was healed by Rey. It was like, oh, okay, so like this is his redemption. He's like, I didn't reach out my hand to Kylo, I reached it out to Ben and stuff like that. And it's just the fact that he also just figured out how to do it that just made me feel like really weird, because he's just like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's right.
if Rey can do it,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can probably do it too.
Yeah, and
And
she never like
that's-
showed it to him.
Yeah.
She just healed him once, and then he's like, "Oh,
Yeah, and then he's like,
I've
I
been
can.
enlightened."
And he didn't just heal any like physical wounds because she didn't have any. He legit just gave her all of his power,
I really,
which to me was like, oh, what?
I really like how Ben Solo sounds like a guy who like I could have in my class, where it's like, Oh, hey, where's Ben? Anyone seen Ben? No, I
Anyone
don't
see
think he's
Ben
here
Solo?
today.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, he
Hey.
died. He went to the dark side.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. He's dead, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
so
he
he
actually-
switched majors, huh?
He actually
I've
changed
seen
his
it.
name to Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
He healed Ray Palpatine, or is it Skywalker now? I think she married.
Yeah, I think she got married.
But yeah, it's like Ben Solo. It's like, wow, that's a name.
There was a lot of stuff I enjoyed that diehard Star Wars fans didn't. Like I mentioned earlier, the ability for them to summon items between one another, I enjoyed.
Ooh.
I think it was a plot device, and I liked it a lot. That scene where Ben is fighting the Knights of Ren.
Ray,
Yeah.
Ren?
No.
Knights of
Yeah,
Ren.
Knights of Ren.
Right,
Knights
right,
of Ren.
right.
Yeah, Ben is fighting the Knights of Ren. Yeah.
The
And
Knights of Ben.
and yeah, and fighting his own knights. And then he
Because they're not very
gets the
loyal.
lightsaber from Rey. Just, oof. It was good. I liked it cinematically. I liked it with development of character style and story. I know Star Wars fans are like, but that doesn't, and I'm like,
That basically
Wait,
tracks
well,
with
not
my
what I don't
understanding of
like.
it too.
About it.
oh really?
No, that like I don't really care about that.
That's the only part I do. I'm exactly on board with Mitch here. Again,
Yeah.
not having seen it myself, I feel like it's cinematically good, you know,
It looked really
symbolism and stuff.
It
Cool,
did.
cool, cool. But like, you know, Force is this and that, and I get that Force is a big thing in Star Wars. It's kind of what makes it unique. You know, it's not sword
Yeah.
fights. It's not
It's-
space fights. It's like the Force.
It's not so much that they have the connection and I don't like it. It's
Mm-hmm.
the why they have the connection, because it was Snoke and then it's not Snoke,
Yeah.
and then it's just like their connection, and now they do it all the time, and like
They
weird
do.
stuff gets thrown
I-
through their little like space time
I
continuum
also-
thing they
I
got
can see
going
that
on.
being
And,
frustrating.
Like when the
Yeah.
Darth Vader helmet like hits the ground on that ice planet,
Oh, I really like that though.
I was like,
really
dude,
cool.
why did that one thing hit and not like all the tiny little pieces
Yeah,
that
it's
went
just the
with
helmet.
it?
It's
It's
just
just
the
the helmet.
So, the movie for me, when I watched it, you know, I thought it was all right with what they were given.
Can you be more like? Can you
Yeah,
elaborate?
yeah.
Here
If
on-
I can elaborate a little bit, you know, with the entire sequel trilogy being done, well, it was going to be done by like 3 different directors. And then it turned into just J.J. Abrams for Force Awakens and Rian Johnson for Last Jedi, and then back to J.J. It kind of became like really disjointed because of everyone's different like visions and everyone's different like, this is how I want the story to go, this is how I want the story to go. And I feel like it kind of failed on that because they didn't really plan on actually making like an outline for all the 3 movies. So when they came into building this story, Force Awakens, I was like, this is a good way to build it. Last Jedi came, and I was more like, this is not really the move. I don't really know what's going on. But it was original. They weren't trying to copy anything. And I thought it was a good, an all right attempt, but people did not like it. And the last, and now this movie, The Rise of Skywalker, is just a response to people's backlash of The Last Jedi. And it was just more like, here's some tie-ins, here's some things here and there, but there was still a lot of like questions that are still not exactly answered, which is like typical J.J. Abrams style, you know. So not exactly the best, but it wasn't exactly the worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
What would you say is the worst Star Wars movie you've seen?
If I had to choose one, I would probably say, if we were going along like just trilogies only, no
Mhm.
spin-offs and stuff like that, I'd probably say Attack of the Clones.
That's pretty
Oh,
common.
interesting, interesting. Attack of the Clones
Yeah.
for your favorite?
No,
For
no,
my
least
least
Oh,
favorite.
yeah,
Oh.
least
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
Sorry, Kyle, I'm so sorry
It's
for
okay.
interrupting you,
Yeah.
but Attack of the Clones, worst movie. Why do you say
Yes.
that?
Well, I mean, you look at what they were trying to go for in the movie, and then there's just so many things that just made me not exactly the happiest Star Wars fan at that time. I think to go off, you know, I was thinking, because Disney, I'm sure obviously they had to have looked at the prequels because they put so much stuff into the sequel trilogy that's like, oh, callbacks and stuff like that.
But callbacks to the original,
Yeah.
not to the prequels.
And the
Mhm.
thing that, even though people kind of put the prequels like lower on their list, I mean, it still had a cohesive story overall compared to the sequel trilogies where it's like, it's going one way, here's another way,
Mm-hmm.
then it goes another way.
Yeah, the mess
The mess.
that is those 3 movies.
Not saying that all of them were bad, because I did like The Force Awakens, just because of the fact that it was just a good way to start. I know people were like, it's just copying like A New Hope and stuff like that, which I can understand. But I was also just like, I was thinking from the standpoint of it being like, it's Star Wars for a new generation of like people who may have not seen it, and they wanted a way to kind of like bring those people in by kind of going over like a different like pattern. You
Which
know,
one's A New Hope?
it's the 4th
So,
episode.
A New Hope is the very first.
Okay,
Star
Yeah,
Wars
the very
Cool.
first one. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So I
Luke
thought of it like
Skywalker rescuing Princess Leia, first Death Star.
yeah. So I was thinking of it from like that standpoint of like, it's Star Wars for people who may have never seen it, a new generation of people to
So
introduce.
it's like
them
a
back.
Star Wars is Star Wars.
Yes,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked it more than the other 2, because Last Jedi was pretty out there. They had an original idea. They went with it. Was it a good idea? In some parts, yes, and in some parts, definitely not. I feel like there could have been some more talking about it throughout the entire arc of people's like characters, but they didn't really do that. And then you get The Rise of Skywalker, which is, quite to say, a very
Yikes.
divisive movie. It's a divisive movie. There are people who like it. There are people who hate it. So,
It's kind of as if the last trilogy was like a bunch of people who were really into Star Wars, just kind of like LARPing. You know, it's like, oh, let's record this, and
It was probably a cash grab.
it's like a D&D. It's Disney.
Disney.
yeah.
All
The
hail
mouse.
the mouse. Exactly.
The House of Mouse.
That's where like
Mhm.
when I watched The Force Awakens, immediately after episodes 4 through 6, right? The Force Awakens.
Yep.
Is that
Episode
the-
7.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, okay, this was perfectly Disney. There was nothing discreet that I could sort of criticize
Mm-hmm.
or say this was bad and that was bad and I didn't like this. But overall, it felt it's generic.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
All right.
Like,
I think, Mitch.
Yeah, we're gonna take an actual break this time, not just an edit break.
Yeah.
And some of us have to go do some stuff. Some of us got to work on a little bit of homework. If we
Absolutely.
want to continue back,
Mhm.
we can.
I think, yeah.
Please.
Is everybody
Please.
down for that?
Yeah, I'm down for that. I need to finish an assignment. Matt's got to go.
Go on round.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I have completed my rounds. Assignments are done, and we are back at the table.
Whoop whoop.
oh my God. We're starting off strong here after this ad
Yeah,
break.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're taking an hour early, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Man.
Oh, I
Wasn't
nearly
that
pulled a
bad.
Joel voice. We're taking an hour early. Oh, that's hard to do. Brayden can do it really well.
Taking an L. Taking an L.
I mean, one of my friends who
You didn't say last name. You're fine.
Brayden Kluver.
Oh, that's gonna be a beeper.
Brayden
Yeah,
Marie
that's
Kluver.
a
That's outta
bleeper.
here.
Social
That's a bleeper.
Security 5.
Oh boy.
Oopsie
Boy.
boopsie.
All right.
Yikes.
I just want to say thank you, Mitch, while you're listening to this, as you're editing it, for cutting this out.
Yeah, thank you. You're a real
Sometimes
one.
you're
Yeah,
an
man.
ass.
My
You are a
voice
real
will
one.
be sent to the ether, and that'll be it for me. I don't belong here.
I was thinking some creep. What is that?
What
We're
is going on?
We don't have a topic.
That's true. We're done with Star Wars. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna.
So
let
did
that
you?
die
Did
with-
you said you watched PewDiePie's last video, right?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
quote,
that's
unquote,
right.
last.
There you go.
Now,
Mhm.
who here? Now, everyone's familiar with, of course, Felix Kjellberg.
Pewds, as he likes to
PewDiePie.
be called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm familiar.
All right,
Not
now
a,
I know
not
Matt-
a diehard fan though.
Now, I know Matthew and I are both fairly familiar with his content. It took me a little getting used to his sort of style, but once I was able to sift through and realize like how much of it was meta humor or sarcastic and what parts were genuine, I could really appreciate it there. And for those of you who do not know, he recently declared that he was taking a break here this January for an undefined period of time, and he just released his final video before going on that break.
Yeah. So he hasn't taken a break, I think, ever.
He is, yeah, never.
No.
Yeah, this would be his first one.
He's been uploading daily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's been keeping a real like hectic schedule. It's like,
It's incredible.
especially
Yeah.
with the amount, like, I mean, it's easier to take breaks when you have lower subscriber counts, you know. But when you are like the top
Mm-hmm.
like YouTuber,
Yeah, he was like top
Yeah.
dog.
He-
it's kind of
he's
hard
still-
to take breaks, you know.
He still defines the culture.
Yeah, he was. It's interesting to me to see like he's like, you know, taking a break. I mean,
Mhm.
social media right now is getting really hectic, so I can understand him being like, I gotta take a load off and just go and
Yeah.
PewDiePie's
relax.
main platform is YouTube, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
So the reason I think he's stepping away from YouTube and his platform completely is because YouTube is releasing their new rule or clause or whatever they're calling it, where you have to mark your videos and whatnot. And if you don't,
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's-
I wouldn't
yeah.
be surprised if that's the reason why. He's not not gonna say straight up, yeah, YouTube is releasing this new rule, I'm done.
right.
Well,
could,
a
but-
lot of,
There are some YouTubers who do voice their opinions very, very
A
like
lot of-
strongly.
a lot of creators and producers actually have been calling it out a little
Yeah.
bit, saying this is making it harder for me to do what I do. This is making my job more difficult.
Yeah,
By YouTube saying, well, now you have to say you're kid friendly or not, even though there is a YouTube Kids. It makes it a lot harder, especially for people who play more like mature games
Mhm.
or use less kid friendly language.
yeah.
And
sure.
that defines their fan base and their culture to a certain extent.
Mhm.
So having to tone that down and really subjugate it, it can be damaging, really.
Yeah, especially since like the bigger YouTubers, this is like their main job. They go full time, you know.
Yep.
And they get paid pretty well for like what it's worth. But now with the new laws coming down on them, it's like, well, I can't make enough money because I'm getting demonetized.
And
like,
not only demonetized,
Yeah, if-
but when you mark them wrong, you
get
actually pay
fined.
out.
yeah, you
Yeah,
get
you
fined.
pay money for being
Big
wrong.
money, like
Yeah.
42 grand
It's
per
a lot.
video.
Yeah.
So someone like PewDiePie, who's been on YouTube since the
Start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the very beginning
Well,
almost.
I would hate to have to deal with that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, no,
for
it's
sure.
it's
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why. Obviously, I'm not PewDiePie, and I'm not even close to him at all in any way, shape, or form.
mm,
Words,
They're hard.
they are hard.
They are hard. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the actual reason. But like I said, I'm not PewDiePie. I can't speak on his behalf.
Yeah,
Oh.
we've actually been seeing this sort of trend
Yeah.
recently. In the past few years, many people are saying it's time for me to take a step back. Whether they're regular people like you and I who are
Mm.
mostly taking in this media, or whether they're the people that are producing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of times people are taking significant breaks from all of it, or even like in PewDiePie's case, his one main the thing he does.
Mm.
And I mean, I've personally considered it a little bit myself, but not really
Mm-hmm.
committed to that because it's a major commitment in this day and age.
To take a break.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah.
From like
All right.
social media and such.
Oh gosh, yeah, I
like to,
couldn't
to
do
fully go off the grid.
You know,
Oof.
and it's got to be even harder when that's also your job, whether or not like he has a lot of money or not. When that's what you do for a living,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. But we're seeing it more and more. People are saying, "I'm not feeling that this is healthy to do nonstop."
Yeah, you. There's been a lot of like a lot of mental illness too going around
Mhm.
when it comes to YouTubers. It's that mindset of like I have to keep uploading,
Feeding
Every
the
day.
machine and
Yeah.
satisfying the algorithm.
and at the
Churning out
same
the
time,
content.
yeah, and there's been people who have gone off the edge for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's inhuman working conditions.
Yeah,
And it's remarkable that the ones who do succeed don't go insane.
yeah, but it's also just like really, it's just not really the best at the moment. Like YouTube is just getting like cracking down on YouTubers who've done nothing wrong, and
Mhm.
they would make one bad video and then they're screwed for like the
Yeah.
smallest thing, and it's
It's
like
definitely YouTube is definitely looking to change itself for, in my opinion, no real reason. It's
Well, it's for-
succeeding as it is.
mhm.
It's for ads. right? Or they
It's
need
for
to,
money.
They need to
I
make the
think-
advertisers happy.
I think
And-
one, it's trying to make the advertisers happy. Two, I also think it's for like protecting the young people, their younger audience on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost a cohesion at this point between the ads and the kids because
Yep.
Isn't that the parents' job though to make sure that they know what their kids are
a lot
watching?
of people not parent well, and
Well,
so then
that's
it goes to
true.
the companies
For sure.
who can get sued and stuff.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
But
and
something
this-
else I was gonna ask you, Mitch.
Yeah.
How long do you think it takes to edit videos? Like you got like a 30-minute video that you put out.
Like proportionally for
Right,
for
right.
each minute of recording time, how long do you think professionally?
Like, how much editing goes
so
into that?
The rule of thumb when it comes to professional video editing is for every Kyle, quote me or tell me if I'm wrong on this quote because our professor is this is a general rule of thumb that he tells us is I think for every minute it's about an hour of editing.
Yeah.
What?
Holy
That
shit!
doesn't make any sense.
Are you
'Cause-
serious?
Because if you're
Yeah.
going to edit a video, you know, you obviously go longer than what your actual video is going to be. So like, let's say you want a 8-minute video. You basically take that time, and then you double it. That's how much time you're gonna spend
Well, okay.
editing like
now
a
with
video.
people who
in a
are
sense.
fluent or well,
Even-
fluent in
Well,
this skill, I mean, I'm sure it
You
doesn't
can
take
break
as
it down a
long.
little bit faster if obviously someone like so for me I watch a lot of Pokemon Go YouTubers.
Okay.
For someone like
Alright, yeah.
Trainer Tips, he does a lot of YouTubing. He's putting out 1 to 2 videos a day, which is a lot. I get kind of blown away with how much content he pushes out.
Yep.
But when you break it down, a minute of video is about an hour worth of editing. You have to, and it's kind of an all-encompassing type thing, but you have to make sure that your footage is actually what you want, and to make sure your story or your video content makes sense. One, when you're cutting it together, it's fluid, and you're not gonna get trashed
Chops.
on by all the haters. They're like,
Yeah.
what is this? This isn't cut properly, blah, 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 blah. Because there
makes
are
sense.
a ton of people that will do that. And as a YouTuber that's a professional, like full-time, there's a high level of expectation that comes to your video editing skills. Respectively, that's your main job. But we're all human. And when you sit at a computer screen for 5 hours at a time, it can be a lot. So
It's no wonder then they often or
Yeah.
pretty much always outsource their
Yep.
editing
They always
Yeah.
get someone else to edit their videos so they can just keep making them.
because you can't do it otherwise.
no.
Well, I actually know of a guy. Well, I don't know him obviously, but I watch somebody, and he edits his own videos, but he's
Yeah.
also got a podcast that he runs, and like they trade it between
Right,
the people
right.
on there.
Yep. It's for beginning YouTubers that have to 1 shoot their own footage, 2 edit their own footage, 3 come up with content ideas.
Yep.
It's almost impossible for you to break into that YouTube market now. Obviously, when PewDiePie started, it's a very open market. It was
Yeah.
undefined. He
Yeah.
defined the market and the
That's true.
expectations.
Yeah.
He did a very good job of it, obviously, because now the expectations are way too high.
Yeah.
Way too high.
Well, are
Mhm.
they?
For sure. I mean,
Mm.
in
For
terms
what-
of
Because it's good content.
It is good content. I guess
Not maybe like
maybe
sustainable.
Yeah, I think sustainability is really
for
the problem.
yeah for someone that knows the expectations and understands what beginning YouTubers have to go through. I guess that there's a very high expectation to be able to break into the market, and if you have a good idea, like I can't imagine how many young YouTubers there are that actually have good content and good ideas
Mm-hmm.
that are just being flushed out. 1, due to the algorithm of
Yep.
YouTube,
Oh
and
man.
2, because they just don't have the
like the appeal, the
one
draw.
the appeal to the understanding of the market, and 3 the capability to convey their message.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It takes
yeah.
experience
think-
and resources that you cannot have when you're beginning to succeed
Yeah.
when you're beginning.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of jobs these days where it's like you need experience to work, but you need to get a job for experience, and it's like, well,
Entry level
Catch-22.
positions, 3 to 5 years of experience.
exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things too that I think with like new and upcoming YouTubers is like there's niches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So depending on like what kind of content you want to focus on,
Yep.
there's like space for that. There's like wiggle room in there.
That's how you have to do the market these days.
right,
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
I think that's like something that like a lot of new people probably miss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like they're not looking
They're
for
trying
that,
to be
like,
the
area.
next PewDiePie
Right.
instead of
trying
what
to
can I do that's me.
Like
Yeah.
you have to set a goal that's not astronomically, outrageous.
gotta
People,
start.
yeah, like you have to start. Like even if you have like 25 subscribers, 50 subscribers, you
Mhm.
still be like you're making progress.
Yeah.
I know people shoot for the moon when it comes to YouTube, and they're like, I want to
Yep.
shoot up to like Jake Paul, Logan Paul styles of like rich. I want to be living like them.
Like Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
He-
like Mr.
he
Beast
gives away
just gives away
money,
money. Yeah, and
which is super cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
super
don't
nice
get me
guy.
wrong. Yeah, but you can't just have that as your first goal.
Yeah, you're right. You'll
there's
burn
some
out.
there are some people who are grateful that they've even gotten like 1,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers,
Mhm.
and there's been some YouTubers who've been on the rise. Like 2019, there was a lot of like rising.
There
like,
were a
people-
lot of newcomers.
There was some newcomers that got like at least a 100,000, 200,000. And it's mostly because of like through word of mouth or bigger YouTubers shouting out the smaller ones. And you can have that too, but if you don't have any connections, if you don't have that kind of like, like
that
draw,
boost.
that boost, or even something that's like, oh yeah, this YouTuber reminds me of like another YouTuber, and so I watch them both, if you don't have anything like that, well, then you're kind of dead in the water. It feels like.
That you actually bring up a really good point of that's one way in which YouTube is really different from other career paths in a sense. The fact that you can get a shout out from a already popular and successful YouTuber,
Yeah.
it's totally different than anything else that comes to mind for me. It's not like a reference. It's a direct boost that can make it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what happened to like Jacksepticeye. He's the third most popular as far as like gaming YouTubers right now.
Yeah.
It's true.
And he got
was
a
doing,
PewDiePie shout out.
He was doing pretty well before.
He was doing
PewDiePie,
all right, but then he got
still
a
it elevated him
huge
to like
boost.
a new
Yeah.
level.
When
It
he
went
started like
logarithmic.
when he started like with
Right,
Mark
right.
and like
Mhm.
PewDiePie, and they started like working together more and more.
Yep.
He started getting exposed more, and people started liking him more. And yeah, you could kind of say like, oh well, they're they all have that same style of like, well, Pews don't really play like a lot of games anymore, and it's more like
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, but he's grown out of it, and now you have Mark and you have Jack, who are just like they're on top of like basically like his like proteges, his predecessors that come up after him.
And now we have Mr. Beast and Ninja.
Yeah, and you have Mr. Beast, Ninja, and all of them
Yeah,
too.
Fortnite was how you got YouTubers in like
2017,
2017,
yeah.
2018.
Giveaways
More
are also
giveaways.
the
Yeah,
giveaways. That also draws people in.
Yep.
It's like an incentive.
And
Like,
we're
oh
seeing-
yeah, come by and you can get some Fortnite
We're
codes
seeing
or
a lot
something.
of people get started on Twitch nowadays, though.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Because YouTube,
Twitch is kind of reaching that spot where YouTube was like
yeah,
not in the sense that like it's overtaking YouTube, but in the sense that like the time to get in on Twitch is
It's
like done.
past.
It's past. Yeah.
if you haven't already put yourself, I know they're like really advertising Twitch right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even on
Mhm.
like YouTube, there's ads all for Twitch.
Which is funny.
Even so,
It's kind of funny.
it's like now people are kind of just like, well, if I can't make it in Twitch, I'm just gonna go to Mixer.
Mixer. Yeah.
And Mixer's not a bad platform. Don't get me wrong. You have Ninja moving over there and like Shroud moving over there, and you're like, oh shoot.
Is he still over there?
Last time I checked, I think he still is.
Okay.
I think so. I'm not exactly sure.
I think people are missing like the point though. Like if you're
You
if
get
you're
closer to
being
the
if you're a young YouTuber
Yeah.
or a young video content maker,
Mhm.
you're looking to break into the market and be the next Ninja or the next Jacksepticeye or
Right.
whatever. Moving to a different platform isn't going to help you because eventually those gamers will, or the video content that you're making, the people that are at the top level of that are going to move to that said platform. Now we saw with Twitch that they were better at.
I actually found out Jacksepticeye streams on Twitch.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I
Yep.
did not know that.
Pretty sure Mark does too.
Really?
Like he used to.
think-
I
I mean,
remember for
PewDiePie
sure.
does too, right?
Markiplier, Mark?
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Not anymore.
Oh, I know Markiplier.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he streamed on there for a while. I'm pretty
Really?
sure Jack did as well. He still
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, and Jack has been streaming Bloodborne for the
Really?
last couple of weeks. Yeah,
He's playing Bloodborne.
Yeah.
He's playing Bloodborne again.
he is.
But yeah,
Yes, indeed.
just the main thing I was I forget, I think it was you, Daniel, that said earlier on that, like, I can't remember how you said it, but basically it's like you need to find a different way to break in, a different market to break into, rather than going to a popular market.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
I think that was Matthew that was
Oh.
bringing up how niches really dictate the global economy now, because there are so many people who have so much access to so many other people,
Yeah.
and there's just content and content that's
Right,
just
like, one of my-
going out there. You know, you have to find the incredibly small niche who's willing to deal out a lot in support of you, and it's hard.
100%. Like
Either
yeah.
that or
one
be
of my
fantastic.
favorite
Yeah.
one of my favorite like examples of that is
Mhm.
like when if there's like a gaming channel and they start on this one game and then they build up like their support for this one game.
Yep.
And like, hey, like I'm gonna try something new, you know, like just
Mhm.
tell me how you like it. And they try that new thing, and then like that gets other people, and then now
Okay,
you're
yeah.
building like a whole bunch
Yeah.
of people, and you unite them all under like
Yeah.
whatever new content you're trying to put out.
That makes sense. The main thing I want to like people to get away from this conversation is that if you're a young YouTuber, it is going to be difficult, or a young young video content maker.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult. There's going to be a lot of hours that you're going to put into your video editing process to try
Yeah.
to be competitive.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that you won't understand how Trainer Tips makes those cool intro videos, and you'll just get super frustrated because I've been there and I still get frustrated. So it's difficult to break in, but if you find something that you're passionate about, whether that
Mhm.
be a popular thing or it not be popular at all,
Exactly.
that almost gives you an advantage at that point.
Yeah.
But
And
do it for yourself.
yeah,
exactly.
that's-
That's
Yeah.
the point.
that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to get to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do if you love YouTubing or you love making videos,
Mm-hmm.
and then find content that you're also passionate about besides video edit. I mean, you could do videos on video editing that help some people out. Who,
But it won't.
who-
It won't help. It won't. push you above the ranks.
Yeah.
No. But you'll get a good following because it's like, oh, it's tips on
Yeah.
how to video edit.
That's why,
Yeah.
like, I've heard people, YouTubers always get asked, "How do I get successful?"
Yeah.
Every convention, every forum,
Yeah.
it's always there,
How do
and
I?
it's only
succeed?
just make good content and hope for the best. Like
And I don't
that's
even
the only thing you can
Make
do is
content that you think is good.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't agree with make good content because one, that's
I mean, like
vague,
quality. So
Yeah.
so like put
Put your best stuff out
do
there.
a little of a lot rather than a lot of a little.
Mm-hmm.
Because the time for a lot of a little is too late. When you do
Yeah.
a lot of a little is when you're looking for what's going to stick.
Right.
The wall is already covered, in like
Yep.
Yeah.
ideas. So you got to find the one spot that isn't and really aim there and hit it perfectly.
Yeah. It's a game of just like, as you said, what will stick. I know there's a bunch of like different YouTubers who kind of just focus on a specific like game, specific series, or just a specific thing. Like they're like, oh, if you're more into tactical shooters,
Mhm.
there's like a whole YouTube subgenre that is just like a bunch of YouTubers that's specifically about that. Or if you're more into like funny gaming commentaries,
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole subgenre of that. You have to kind
Absolutely.
of find what you believe is like, oh, I'm going to be a YouTuber that focuses mainly on these kinds of games. That way you know your audience. And if you want to broaden out to become more, then you can do that. But you have to stick to something specifically first. Something that can draw, like obviously draw people in. Like if you play, like for example, we'll say Rainbow Six Siege.
Mhm.
There's an audience for that. And you can say like, oh, well, I can either play it as a YouTuber who seriously plays this game and can do like highlights and cool moments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or I can do specifically funny meme moments. Like
Mhm.
I can just have that in there. But you have to find that first. And then once you reach a certain height, you can start branching out into other things. You can start doing like, vlogs. You can start doing other games in general. But the whole thing is just you have to find that one specific audience that you want to target. You don't target everybody.
Mhm.
You target the one audience can like be there for you.
And I'd say one of the easiest ones to break into is probably like the group funny moments,
Oh yeah.
like shooter. Like I'm thinking like Vanoss.
Yeah.
And like the Vanoss.
The whole
crew, like
Vanoss gang.
Delirious, Louis,
Mhm.
Nogla, Wildcat, all of them.
Yeah.
Like they kind of forged the way for that.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
But there
easy
are
appeal.
so many.
it's got action and humor. And,
Yeah. Well, and it's fun to just hang out with your friends. 'Cause
Exactly.
that's what they do. Like they do like skits and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Mhm.
how many times do we do that in Sea of Thieves?
Exactly.
Yeah, the Vanoss, they started off as just being like, here's some funny GTA 5, GTA 4
Yeah.
stuff, and it grew to become this like big thing where now they just branch out and do anything because they know their audience now. They've been in this for years, and now it's like, well, we can do a lot.
Yeah,
now.
but we do it together.
But as long as we do it together, because that's why people came in the first place, is because of us. The games we play is like secondary to what we actually like, what our actual content is. It's
Exactly.
us talking, not us playing is all good and all, but like it's what we say, what we do in the game that makes us like why we have such a big audience.
And the specific style too.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of different factors in there that makes you like successful. You just have to find it first.
Even getting this podcast put together, we talked about a couple different ideas of what we wanted to talk about. What was, because when we started putting ideas together, we were like, well, yeah, we're just going to talk around the table. Well, yeah, we can do that, but we also have to draw an audience in. We're not going to put on our video description, guys sitting around the table talking. That'd
be a great title though.
Uh,
I like that.
I
The
like
round
it,
table.
I like it.
Yeah, well, that just
You
isn't
mean
going
this nice
to
round
draw.
rectangular
I mean,
one?
if we
You're
put in
right.
our title, Star Wars discussion, how many more viewers are we going to attract?
At least
Yeah.
they know that what they're getting when they like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Speaking of knowing what you're getting, like, did we take time to explain why we
Premise?
chose the name 50/50 Take It or Leave It?
I don't think
No,
we.
which-
I don't think we have.
No, I don't think so.
Would you like to,
yeah.
Matt?
Oh, absolutely. So I did end up coming up with the name. We had sat around and tried to figure something out, and we settled on 50/50 Take It or Leave It because
There were some
Featuring
close
Ludacris.
winners to that, and there were some not close winners.
There was definitely
Yes.
some ones that were like, oh no.
Why did
that's-
we even say that?
No,
No, that's not
Wish I had
happening.
my filter
that's,
Mm,
that's saved in the group chat.
that's
on.
it.
Oh, no.
Maybe I'll look it
Oh
up.
boy, yeah,
Well, that's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be pretty far back.
yeah,
That
for
might be
sure.
pretty far back. No, but we settled on 50/50 Take It or Leave It because half the time we got it planned. We know what we're talking about.
Yep.
And the other half is just rambling, talking about nonsense.
Right
And
off the dome.
Memeing.
Take it or leave it, baby.
Take it or leave it. Yeah. And I think that perfectly sums up what we do. We'll have, half of it be like a full on discussion that we've planned out, and the other half is completely just improv.
Yeah, and it's very casual, which is the style of our conversations as a friend group.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna be serious with some serious things, but we're also gonna know when it's time to take a break, take a breather, and just start being goofballs.
Oh yeah. We had a very heated conversation about Star Wars. It
Sorry
got
about that.
it got heated. And we've taken our break. We took a deep breath, and we're like, all right, now that the tension is cleared, we're back at it again.
The tension.
It's just like
Back at it again.
we're back at it again, and that's really what this is all about. It's just a couple of guys.
Well, a couple being
Speak-
four.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just
Two couples of guys.
two couples of
That
guys.
sounds
that's a little-
there are implications.
There's a few
Oh, boy.
a few boys over here chatting it up,
Just
speaking our
some
mind.
good hearty men.
Yeah. There it is. Good hearty men. That just.
I know my heart's pretty big.
Oh my God.
All right.
All right, we're going off.
Moving
we're going
on.
off
We'll cut that
topic.
in post.
Yeah. But it's it's really just off the dome like discussion topics.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah.
idea what's going to come out of my mouth. I just start moving my lips and,
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens,
Mhm.
take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it,
Take it or
baby.
leave it.
That's how it's done.